Three non-profit organizations of Igbos in the diaspora have jointly petitioned the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, seeking his intervention in what they called protracted persecution of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The groups, under the aegis of American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, Rising Sun Charities Organization, and Ambassadors for Self-Determination, have been deeply involved in campaigns to make the Nigerian authorities end Kanu's unending detention.
Ever since, the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention found on July 20, 2022, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's detention violated 16 international human rights covenants. It ordered his immediate and unconditional release and the reparations paid. Nigeria has flouted the working group decision for more than 3 years now.
They urged Trump to impose U.S. sanctions on 5 Nigerian judges for their alleged roles in perpetrating Kanu's lingering ordeal, which started with the gross violation of his internationally recognized human rights. The juries recommended for sanctions include Justice Binta Nyako, Justice Haruna Isamane, Justice Haman Barika, Justice Mohammed Garuba, and former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola.
Justice done on him is Honorable Justice Hama Akawu Barka. His position was Presiding Justice Court of Appeal, Abuja panel, affirming IPOB prescription on January 30, 2025. Alleged conduct supporting designation affirmed the ex parte 2027 prescription despite a subsisting adversarial rule of March 2027 that IPOB is not an unlawful society, despite later findings of Enugu High Court.
They also seek Magnitsky sanctions against Nigerian former Attorney General of the Federation, Abaka Malami, who was the chief law officer under the administration of late President Muhammadu Buhari, during which Kanu's rights and international law were violated.
The Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act empowers the president to identify foreigners who are guilty of gross violations of human rights, freeze their assets, and ban them from ever traveling to the United States. And that's what we're asking happen in this particular case with regard to the 6 individuals that we identify in our petition. Now, one of the other elements that comes from the Global Magnitsky listing is it's a stigma. It puts you in the same category as notorious, horrible human rights violators, Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Kim Il-sung in North Korea, anyway, all the ones that you remember by reading in the newspapers.
Malami's role, a betrayer of oath and office. He could have not ordered for this extraordinary rendition. As a Nigerian chief legal officer from 2015 to 2023, Abubakar Malami, SAN, was constitutionally bound to uphold both domestic and international law. Instead, the Kenya court found Nigerian state agents colluded in abducting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without any judicial oversight or extradition procedure.
Global Magnitsky sanctions are targeted financial and travel sanctions that the U.S. and other countries can impose on individuals and entities responsible for gross human rights violations or significant corruption. The rights violations listed against the affected jurists include ongoing arbitrary detention as determined by the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, denial of the right to fair trial rights, and judicial endorsement of Kanu's kidnapping, torture, and extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria.